Hello and welcome. I am Mr. Lights, and this is my podcast. Oh, my BFF is here. Hello, Rob.
Hey, I love you, all right?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
How's the weather where you are?
Yesterday it was quite nice actually, but it's got a lot colder. It's starting to get. We're getting into autumn, or into fall, as you say, and
Yes.
it's getting colder. It was cold last week. I had to put my heating on for one night.
Um. Well, I've been swimming every day,
I
and
know.
today, today it was 97, but it felt like it was 101.
Oh, it's
So
not. We're nowhere near there.
the really weird part is that the leaves are changing colors, but they're kind of like mostly dying first.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, excuse me.
we still have no. When we go swimming, we have these. I thought the dragonflies were just dragonflies, but there's different kinds, and there's a kind called a damselfly, and
Mm.
they're very beautiful, and they're all called damselflies, even though they're all not damsels, or there wouldn't be more than one. No. So they hang out at the pool, and when I get down there or get down there with my husband, they just swarm us, and they want to. Well, basically, they want to hitch a ride.
All right, okay.
So if we're in a floaty or just swimming, they'll land on my shoulders or they'll land on our floaty. If my husband's floating, they'll just land on his chest or his knees. And the funny thing about this year is when January first came along, if you remember, I don't make resolutions for New Year's because it's just the first thing I'm going to fail at. So I just don't. But this year I said what I'm going to do is I'm going to find joy. Remember that? I'm
Yep.
going to find joy. And no matter what it is, if it makes me happy, makes me feel joy, then I'm going to do it or love it or whatever. And these damselflies have just been a real blessing the last 3 months.
All
Just
right,
like
okay.
I just love seeing them, and they're so friendly.
Hmm.
And I don't like bugs.
I know
They're
you don't, do you?
no, I hate bugs, but they're so beautiful, and I don't know. It is. I have found joy, so I'm gonna miss that one. Next month in October, it'll go from 99 to like 65 in a day, and then it's over. But so I'm just enjoying them while they're here. They'll be crossing that rainbow bridge pretty soon. Going to play on a farm with other damselflies. Are we gonna talk about what we're doing for October?
Yeah, we. Do you want me to explain it, or do you want me? I don't know what you want me to do. So I just tell them, all these wonderful people who are listening.
Yeah, I mean, you tell them what we're kind of mulling over.
Well, it's what we usually do, or what Trace usually does, is 31 days of Halloween, where we do a video every day for the 31 days. But obviously, it's quite difficult that because it's 31 videos. So what we've talked about is maybe not putting a target, doing as many videos as we feel comfortable doing, and putting them out during Halloween, during October.
Mm.
And there might be 31, there might not be. We don't
That's
know.
right. That's
So
right. Yeah.
that's basically what we plan on doing, and we wanted to tell everybody today that it's going to be a secret. You'll find out during October.
It's a mystery.
Yeah,
Um, because I've been doing a lot of stuff to work on my mental health, I've been painting and putting my artwork up for sale on Etsy. P.S. I'll put my Etsy address down below this if you want to go look around and look at my paintings. And so I've been doing a lot of that because I've been trying to get Halloween, fall, and Christmas all up there. So I have painted, I I don't even know, a lot. And most of them are like little sets of 3 by 5 solid pine little sets that I do in a set, and they're cute. And then I have some 8 by 10s, but been doing that, and I've been doing a lot of exercise, a lot of a lot of swimming. So and just several things that are keeping me very busy. So to do a video takes the time to do the video, and the research and everything, and then it takes, well, uh, sometimes up to 3 hours to edit. So it's a lot. I'm gonna aim for 31, but if I don't hit 31, please be understanding. And I didn't say this before in my last podcast, but my channel has been completely demonetized. So because you're supposed to have a certain amount of views per, I don't know, a 90-day period or something, and I wasn't posting, so I came up short on the amount of views. So they took my monetization away again, and which I literally only get about $100 a year anyway. So if you guys want to go take a look around that shop, and if you feel like supporting me, great. If not, that's totally fine too. And if you want to give one of those tips down below, that would be good. That'd be great. And if you can't, that's understandable. Money's tight. What are we talking about today, Rob?
The 27 Club.
You have all the information. I'm going to be listening and asking some questions. Is that right?
That's the plan.
Okay. So, as a matter of fact, Rob and I were both going to be doing the homework, and I had been so bogged down doing stuff that he kindly volunteered to do the homework and let me ask him questions. So thank you for that.
Like my daughter says, Keisha, teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. That's right. Risk it for the biscuit. Okay, so can you explain what the 27 Club is?
Yeah, basically, I thought I knew about the 27 Club until I was doing this research. There are a lot of artists. Basically, they die on their 27th birthday. They don't make it to 28. And
On their birthday or in their 27th year?
On their 27th year.
Okay.
The 27th year, because one of them dies a few days before his 28th birthday. And some of them, there are basically conspiracies and not conspiracies as such. Weird story. They've all got some have got a weird backstory. Which we're going to dip our toe in today. And yeah, I've tried to pick the most famous ones ever, because some of them I hadn't heard of. I'll be completely honest.
Okay.
And but these are the ones that I had heard of, and I thought
Mhm.
it was just the basically what people do is they put out the most famous, and I just thought, well, that's like a club, but it's not a big club, but it is a big club.
Mm. My
So
son's best friend is turning 27 next month, and she's being superstitious about it, and she's afraid that she's going to die. I reminded her that she's not a famous artist, though, so probably not. We're
it's
going to cross our fingers.
yeah.
Okay, so who's your first one?
Let me turn my phone off. Sorry, everybody.
You're so popular.
We just turn and mute this phone, and we don't have to listen to me getting and what's it's about.
Facebook?
Yeah, it's to do with Manchester United. So,
Oh,
right, my first one is the first one, and it was a jazz blues guitarist called Robert Johnson, who died in August 1938.
wow.
Now, he apparently the story with him is he was a rubbish guitarist, really bad. He wasn't very good at all, and no one would employ him. So he went away for a year, or he went away for a period of time, not a long period of time. And when he returned, he was brilliant. He was absolutely the best blues and jazz guitarist anyone had ever heard of.
Hmm.
And the story with him is he went to a crossroads and made a deal with the devil for him to be the best blues guitarist ever. And do you ever remember watching a series called Supernatural?
Oh, yeah, of
With
course.
let me just get a drink. Well, they did a
I
case when
almost named my daughter after
Jensen,
Jensen. Yep.
yeah, they went. There was one scene in the film, or one in the series, I should say, where they wanted to get the attention of a demon, so they went to. You have to bury something at a crossroads.
I think I've seen that episode. I haven't seen very many, but it sounds familiar. Yeah, go ahead.
And apparently that was based on Robert Johnson
Really?
because of the way that everybody thought that he had made a deal with the devil, and that's how he managed to raise the demon, was by taking something personal to himself and burying it at a crossroads and waiting for midnight, and then the demon came.
Oh my gosh. It's funny you should say that because I was talking to my son today and telling him that we were doing this podcast about the 27 Club. And he goes, I think that they die at 27 because that's when their contract with the Devils is worn off.
Yeah, very well.
Has expired. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then here's the story.
See, apparently he made a deal with the devil, but it wasn't for longevity. It was to become the best jazz blues musician. I can't say that word.
Musician.
Guitarist. Yeah,
That's like
guitarist.
The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Do you know that song?
Yeah,
I don't know that. Okay. That's kind
and
of like that.
so the devil kept his part of the bargain. He made him the best, but he didn't give him a long. He didn't. The deal wasn't that he wanted to be the best and live for 50 years. it was just a case of you're going to become the best, and you're going to die.
Wow.
And the way he died,
Wow.
this is a weird bit.
Okay. Well,
He
the
was
whole part's been weird, but yeah,
having an affair with someone's wife,
as they do.
and he was shot, but the bullet wound wasn't wasn't life threatening.
Okay.
But he drank from an open whiskey bottle.
Okay.
Just drank it down, and it was laced with strychnine,
Oh my God.
and he died from strychnine poisoning, not from a gunshot wound.
Well, it sounds like he was going to die that day no matter what had to happen.
Yeah, he he was the first recorded. He was
Wow, that's a cool story.
he was 27 years old, and
Hmm.
um, he was the first one.
Wow, that's a good one. That's crazy.
It is strange, isn't it, that like you said, he was going to die that day, whatever.
Yeah. Live through the gunshot wound and then drink whiskey laced with strychnine. Who laced the strychnine? Who laced?
No
Hello?
one knows. No one knows.
That's crazy.
As far as I could tell, no one knows. I don't know. Maybe I couldn't find
Devil.
any. Maybe.
Hmm. My daughter-in-law is the devil. What? Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I think you might have done.
Oh well. Moving on.
Anyway,
Sometimes I actually forget we're being recorded. Ding.
anyway.
Okay. Who's next?
Brian Jones. Do you know who Brian Jones was?
I feel like he was in a band.
Rolling Stones.
Oh, okay. Duh. Just some band. Yeah.
Right. He,
Okay.
he died in 1969. In 1969, he died. And he died of a mixture of drink and drugs. He was a heroin addict, and he was drinking. Now, he died obviously on his 27th birthday. Not on his 27th birthday, but on his 27th year. Now, everybody knew that he was a drug addict and a heavy drinker, but some of the members of the other members of the Rolling Stones didn't agree with the cause of death because he I found it really difficult to sort of research this properly because they were just they were saying basically that the the whole um, scenario of him dying and the coroner's report and the autopsy report didn't make sense because he was supposed to be trying to clean himself up, and then all of a sudden he died. There's a lot like this. There's a lot that um, that are trying to get clean and trying to get sober, and then whether it's a relapse or whatever it is, they die, which is really really sad
Hmm.
because he was supposedly a very nice person, apparently from what I read, and yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for all of them, but he was the second one to die in 1969. So there's a big gap between 1938 and 1969. But as you're going to see now, well, I won't. I'll tell you once we've done it. But
Okay.
he Keep the date 1969 in your mind.
Okay.
Right. This next guy I'd not heard of, but you probably have because it's an American group. He played a guy called Alan Wilson from a band called Canned Heat. No,
No.
American.
Are they?
Yeah.
Hmm. While
He
you're telling me, I'm gonna look it up.
he died on the 3rd of September in 1970.
Oh well, maybe
Um,
that's why I haven't heard of them.
um, he died of an overdose, but the other members of the band say it was suicide. But the coroner's report said he died of an overdose. But he died in 1970. So Brian Jones died in 1969 and
Hmm.
Alan Wilson died in 1970.
Hmm.
And the reason I'm making a big deal of these dates, you'll get in a minute. But
Okay.
he was a drug user, but he was supposedly clean when he died. Um, I don't. They found drugs in his system. Obviously when they did the autopsy, but um, what the band was basically trying to say is that the only reason he took an overdose was to kill himself. There you go.
Oh really?
Don't take drugs.
Especially if you're 27. Don't take drugs.
Right, now for a famous one we've all heard of.
Okay.
September the 18th, 1970. Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
We've all heard of Jimi. You've heard of Jimi Hendrix, haven't you?
Well, yes. Yes.
Right. Have you heard of a strong barbiturate called Vastrax, which is he was taking he died of an overdose of Vesprax, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He obviously was a drug addict, and but he was taking Vesprax to help him sleep because he couldn't sleep. So he took people saw him take a handful of these tablets. He don't even know how many. He just poured a load out into his hand and took them, and he died in his sleep of a drug overdose. And they are calling it a drug overdose because uh, people have actually seen it wasn't suicide. He wanted to. He
Oh,
didn't want to die. He wanted to live because he was at his height in 1970. Um, I've never been a big Jimi Hendrix fan, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know why.
I'm not a Jimi Hendrix fan either. I don't
Right,
know why.
another famous one.
He was
Janis,
he was only 27 years old.
27, yeah, only
Are you
27.
kidding?
The next one, Janis Joplin.
Before you talk about Janis Joplin, can I tell you? I watched a documentary about her. She was amazing.
Yeah.
Really, really, really talented. And
Mm.
she had some balls on her.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh,
She
so
was,
sorry.
oh, whoa, whoa.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that then.
That's all right. I'm not monetized anyway. We can say all kinds of shit now. Um, um, she was so like brave and wouldn't let anybody mess with her. Just and so talented,
Mm.
amazing. She went back to her hometown when they were having a a class reunion. And she was like at the height of her fame, and she had been bullied relentlessly in school. And she went back to the high school reunion just to tell him to fuck off.
It sounds like a.
I love that about her. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Remember 1969, 1970, October the 4th, 1970. Janis Joplin died of a heroin overdose, but this one's got some strange circumstances as well.
Mm-hmm.
She went out, she was staying in a hotel. She went out and she was seen by some friends and fans and stuff and other members of the band going to get some cigarettes from a cigarette machine. Do you remember when they used to have cigarette machines where they don't do like that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the last cigarette machine I ever saw was in New Orleans, in a bar in New Orleans. Took my daughter for her 16th birthday, but she was still 15. And I just said, "Hey, stand right there and let me take a picture of you." And when I uploaded all the photos to my computer, I realized that I had her standing in front of a cigarette machine in a bar, like a good parent. There's some gold star parenting right there for you.
Well, in her room, there was she had a heroin kit, like obviously a spoon and other bits of paraphernalia that she would use to shoot up, and they found really high amounts of heroin in her system when they did the autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they worked out, however they do it, that when sort of the ball point time when she took the heroin, and it was before she was seen going out to get the cigarette machine to get cigarettes. She was a really heavy smoker as well.
Yes.
And her fans believe that she was killed because
Yes.
she wouldn't have been able to chew up this amount of heroin.
Yep.
Get up, go out of her room, meet some fans, meet whoever, get some cigarettes, come back to her room, and if I'm remembering right, it's coming back to me now. She put the cigarettes down on her nightstand and fell and hit her head as well. So it's all a bit spooky what happened exactly, and obviously the only person that can tell us is.
Well, she had been dating somebody, and a lot of the rumors were that he had a hand in killing her. And you know, she's from Texas.
Yeah, she is from Texas, isn't she?
And she's played little bars. And I think in Austin, I want to say. And,
I think that she sounded older than 27.
I can't believe that she's 27 years old because she sounded, well, yeah.
Older.
Much older.
Yeah.
Much older. She was only 27. That is crazy.
Because I hadn't heard her sing. I'd obviously heard of Janis Joplin.
Oh, really?
I, not yesterday, but a few years ago, when I first heard of the 27 Club, I went on YouTube and I listened to some of her music, and I couldn't believe it was coming out of that. This young little, she's only little.
She's tiny,
Little girl, this little 20,
tiny
whatever
woman.
she was amazing.
Well, yeah, because she died at 27, but she'd been famous for a while before then. So she was very, very young. I think she left home at like 17 or something. That's why she wanted to go back to her high school reunion, and you know, show them
Yeah.
what had become of her. She would play with huge rock bands on tours. Her voice is just so, it's like a glass of whiskey. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just smooth but raspy and just so talented. That's a great loss.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very sad. Very sad.
And she was wanting to get sober.
Yeah, she wanted to get herself sorted out, didn't she, as well?
Yeah.
She knew she had a problem.
Yeah. And people were telling her, like, she was very close to some people, and they were even her closest friends were saying to her, "Listen, you're gonna kill yourself. There's only two ways out of here. You get sober, or you're gonna kill yourself."
Yeah.
And she wanted to get sober, but
Yeah.
that was sad.
Right. Our next contestant
On the 27 Club.
was Jim Morrison from The Doors.
Mm.
He died in 1971. What was going on in the 70s? The 3rd of July.
Drugs.
Pardon?
Drugs.
Yeah. Now this has
Isn't
got a
Jim
bit of a weird.
Morrison? Is he buried in? Isn't he buried in France? What is France? It's right. He's in France, right? Or is
Yeah.
it Seattle? It's either France or who's buried in Seattle? Uh, gosh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is. He is in France because
Yeah.
there's
And they
something
have like
weird
an
about that.
altar for him.
Yeah. Well, he obviously died at 27 on the 3rd of July, 1971.
27 looked a lot older back then, didn't it? I mean, maybe
Yeah.
it was his hard life. Their hard life too, because even, I mean, everybody we talked about like didn't look like today's 27. I mean, not if you're putting like fillers and stuff in, but just they had rough, hard lives, and the drugs weren't helping.
Yeah. Well, he died of an overdose, but um, his girlfriend at the time, Pam Corson, she died at 27 as well in 1974, so a few years later.
She was very young when they dated.
Yeah, but she sort of was under suspicion for a period of time that she had something to do with his death.
Hmm.
But obviously was never convicted of a crime. But it was weird that she died at 27 as well.
Yeah.
For 4 years later.
Yeah.
He died in 71, he died in 74. No, he died in 71, she died in 74.
Wow.
Crazy, that, isn't it?
Did you see that? Did you ever see the movie with
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I did see it. It was a long time ago. But I think I was probably on drinking drugs at the time, so I can't really remember it.
Were you 27? Actually, I think I might have been. Um. Okay. Jimi Hendrix is the one who's buried in Washington. He's buried in Renton, Washington. And Jim Morrison is in France. He's in Thierry de Pierre Lachaise, Paris, France. And he was from Florida and he spent his time in Florida and Los Angeles. So I wonder why he was buried there. Do you like the Doors?
I like some of the
Come
stuff.
on, baby, light my fire. I
Um,
am not a big Doors fan. There's one, I think they sing a song about New Orleans.
I've got some collabs that rappers have done with people, and there's a version of Riders in the Storm with Snoop
Oh, I
Dogg,
like that one. Oh, you're kidding me.
and it's really good. It's one of my favorite songs on my playlist.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like People Are Strange.
Oh, from what's it called? Is it Fright Night?
Yeah.
Not Fright.
No, Interview with Vampire.
Interview with a Vampire. No,
Isn't it, there's a song at the very end of the movie and they're driving out of town and he
that's not
pops up
Interview
in the
with a
back
Vampire.
seat?
It's Lost Boys. Lost Boys.
Okay, hold on a second. When they're driving out of town, the the guy who's interviewing, um,
Oh, I didn't realize that.
doesn't he pop up? What's his name?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Pops up, and I think they play "People Are Strange" is on playing on the radio.
No, it might be. I don't know. I know it's in Lost Boys.
Is it Lost Boys too?
Yeah.
I love Lost Boys. Hold on a second. I'm gonna see what movies People Are Strange has been in. Lost Boys is it a good movie or was it because of the age I saw it?
I watched it not so long ago again. It's still pretty good.
Did you?
Yeah, it was on something or other.
Apparently, there's a Lost Boys 2 coming out or in the works. Also, a Goonies 2 coming out.
Yeah, I think I've seen that advertised.
Okay, so Lost Boys, Joker, Morbius. There's more, but I can't get it to load. So whatever. I think it was in. Um the very last song, Interview with Vampire.
Okay.
It says it's been in We Have a Ghost, Home Before Dark, Delivers from Evil, The Watch, Forrest Gump, The Doors movie. Anyway, I really like that song. But in general, I'm not a real big Doors fan. As a matter of fact, the Doors were playing it in our truck when we got in the other day, and I said, not listening to the Doors. A lot of the music gives me anxiety. Weird. All right, who's next?
Right. Well, I hadn't heard of this guy, but I'd heard of the band, and you will have heard of the band. You may have heard of him as well. It's Ronald Pigpen or Pigman.
Ronald Pigman.
Hang on. Let me just do something. I'm just doing something which I don't need. That people don't need to know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. I've done it. Okay, right. Ronald Pigpen Kernan or something. He was in a band called the Grateful Dead.
Oh my God, yeah.
He died in 1973, on the 8th of March 1973, so another one in the 70s. Right.
And he was 27.
This is really sad. This is really, really, really sad. He drank himself to death.
He what?
he drank himself to death.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought you said carved himself to death. I was like, what?
he started drinking at 12.
Oh,
He had cirrhosis of the liver at 27. He had a lot of alcohol. A lot of alcohol caused.
related.
That's the one. He had a lot of alcohol-related illnesses, including cirrhosis of the liver, and he he started drinking when apparently he was very shy, and he hadn't had a very good childhood, obviously. To start drinking at 12 is obviously not the greatest childhood you could ever wish for. It was very sad, and he was another one who wanted to get himself sorted out and get clean and sober, and he died of, I think he died of pneumonia in the end, if I remember
Really?
right. But he got pneumonia, and because his immune system was so buggered, he couldn't his body wouldn't get better, but he couldn't get better because he had so much going on illness wise to do with the alcohol that he succumbed to that, and he died. He was 27.
Wow.
Right, I've got another guy here. I haven't heard of him. You may have. I think I might have heard of the band. He was called Dave Alexander, and he was in a band called the Stooges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I think I've heard of the Stooges. He died in February 1975.
Hmm.
The
The
70s
70s
were
are
bad.
rough.
I know. He died from a drink and drugs overdose.
Hmm.
I don't know
It feels
anything.
like if you die at 27 in your 20s, back in the 70s, it's almost always got to be something to do with drugs or drinking, right?
Yeah, there's a couple that
We haven't
are.
talked about anybody that just dropped out of a heart attack. Is that coming up?
You did what? Sorry.
I mean, do we have any 27-year-olds who just dropped out of a heart attack?
No. Only if he's been brought on by drinking drugs.
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
I think maybe the 70s, maybe the drugs weren't as. I mean, drugs today. If you let's use cocaine for instance. If you're on coke today, it's probably cut with so much crap. You're probably not getting very much cocaine when you use cocaine, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But
You getting a lot of baby powder?
baby powder, and I've even heard they crush up chalk and stuff and all sorts. It's
B12.
easy to it's easy to cut up, to crush chalk down to a powder. So the chalk's cheap as chalk. And maybe the drugs were a lot more strong in the 70s. Maybe there was a batch that was nearly pure. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
trying to.
their managers and stuff, they just would buy it and give it to these people. None of these people bought their own drugs.
Oh yeah, it's like Elvis, isn't it? I mean, look at Elvis.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, his biggest drug dealers were his doctors.
Well, yeah, same as Michael Jackson.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So Yeah, they were just being fed this. It was totally normal. I mean, sure, I'm sure. Obviously, it must happen today too. But today is much more scary because you can get anything with a tiny bit too much fentanyl in it, and you're effed.
Yeah,
It'd be scary. It'd be scary to be doing drugs now because it's like Russian roulette.
yeah, yeah. Now, I'm down to my last two now, but they're two very,
Okay.
very famous ones.
Okay.
Right, my first one, Kurt Cobain.
Wow, that's a cluster, isn't it?
Oh, 8th of April, 1994. Now, Kurt Cobain was obviously from Nevada.
Wait, he wasn't from Nevada.
He was,
He
wasn't
was
he?
from Washington State.
No, the band.
What?
The band's called Nirvana, weren't it?
Oh, I thought you, Rob. Yes, your accent just confused me for a minute.
Sorry about
He was from the band Nirvana. I thought you said he was from Nevada.
that.
Boy, you just yelled right at
Sorry about
me. You were very firm about that.
that.
Um. Anyway, yes, yes, yes. Obviously from Nirvana.
He committed suicide.
Oh, did
Um,
he though?
well, this is the question.
I don't think he. I don't believe that he did.
Right. Excuse me, everybody. Sorry, it's early in the morning, and I get a bit thingy early in the morning. He was worried about losing his home in a lawsuit. That's what he supposedly wrote in his suicide letter. Did you?
Well, he killed himself with a shotgun
Yeah,
that had no fingerprints on it, and he had so much heroin that
yeah.
he wouldn't have been able to function, let alone uh, get a shotgun and kill himself and write a letter. He
But
he had so much that they figured like it was close to him being in a coma. Yet he managed to do this and have no fingerprints on the gun. That right there, that alone should say to, in my opinion, to any coroner, this is not a suicide. I mean, red flag. He didn't touch it and yet still managed to do it, or somebody
well,
wiped his fingerprints off.
he was a troubled individual, weren't he?
Yeah.
He was very, very. From what I've read, I could be wrong. He was very, very insecure and shy, and
Yeah.
he he basically took drugs to help him perform on stage because
Right.
he
It's bad stage fright.
stage fright. He was terrified. He was really, really terrified of going out and being Kurt Cobain, and
Yeah.
he died in obviously April the 8th, 1994, at the age of 27, which is crazy,
And
absolutely crazy.
and then he was married to Courtney Love, who was,
Oh,
I mean, that's a whole cluster F by itself, right?
she's not a full shillionaire. I don't.
No, she's no. There's a problem.
And talk about living off someone's name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was quite I mean, it wasn't ugly, was it? Let's put it this way. Kurt
Beautiful
Cobain.
eyes. Didn't he have beautiful eyes?
uh, you're asking the wrong person here, but
Oh, well, yeah.
he had beautiful eyes. But I'm not being funny, but I think he could have maybe done a little bit better than Courtney Love.
Oh my God. How that happened uh, is something I'll never figure out because, yeah, he could have done better than Courtney Love.
I mean, it
But,
wasn't even that. From what I've seen of Courtney Love on the TV and read about, it wasn't even as. It wasn't even though she was a really, really nice person. She was horrible.
yeah, she's a nightmare.
Oh, she was an absolute
Bitch.
nutcase.
She's definitely a nutcase.
Oh, she was. She supposedly got a bit better, but I can't
Well, I
imagine what
don't
she must have been
know.
like in the 70s. Oh my goodness.
Not, not the 70s,
She must
80s, 90s.
she must have been off her head in the 70s.
I
Because
mean,
she was in a band as well, weren't she? Apparently.
Hole. Hole. She
Pardon?
was in Hole. She was in the band Hole.
Oh, I've not heard of
Um,
that.
but it wasn't the 70s. It was 90s.
No, I don't like her. I mean, if you know Courtney Love and she's a nice person, then I apologise. But I think she's a
She's not
lunatic.
even. She's not. She's not. She's not a nice person. I've never heard one person say something nice about Courtney Love. And I mean, it's my personal opinion that there was no fingerprints on that gun because she wiped her fingerprints off. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, yeah. Their daughter is Frances Bean. She's beautiful. She looks just
Is
so
she?
much like her dad. Yeah. She's got her dad's eyes. She's really, really pretty. She doesn't have anything to do with her mom.
Not surprised.
Yeah, because her mom is trying to like. Well, I guess she sold Kurt's likeness to a video game company. Oh, it might be Guitar Hero.
Oh, right, okay.
And that caused a big rift with them because she took the money and any money that was supposed to come after he died was supposed to go to Francis Bean. So, yeah.
Right. The last one, my favourite. Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, that's a sad
Amy,
story.
July 2011. 25.
2011.
I know.
Wow. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago, does it?
Right. It says drink and drugs overdose, but there's a there's so much more here than just drink and drugs overdose. Right. Amy was scared to death of dying when she was 27. She did not want to be part of this club. She actually said that she didn't. She was scared to death. She wanted to make it to 28 so much, so bad. She knew about the club. I think she was a little bit obsessed with the club, to be perfectly honest with you. She was that scared of it.
Mm.
Now, at the time that, yes, she did use drugs. She was a very, very heavy drinker. But at the time,
Well, one of her most popular songs was They Wanted Me to Go to Rehab, and I said, no, no, no.
the time that she, but the period of time when she died, she got clean and she stopped
Yeah.
drinking and she stopped taking drugs. And she had a security guard came round, or security. I don't exactly know, but it was some kind of whether it was her personal security or whatever. And he saw her just before she was due to go to bed, and he said that she was absolutely fine. She wasn't drunk. She'd not been using. She was fine. She was absolutely fine. and they found her the next day dead. She apparently had started drinking late that night, and because they reckon because she got herself clean and out, it was all out of her system, that she died. She died of alcohol poisoning because her body had sort of purged all the alcohol because she got herself clean. And as I'm saying this, I don't believe it, so I don't know, but that's what they say.
You don't believe what?
But that's what happened. I think there's sinister forces at play here. I
Oh,
think,
really?
yeah. I mean, me and the girls went and watched the film. Did Grace come? I think she did. Yeah. We all went to watch the film, and I mean, Keisha loves her, really loves her, and yeah, I've read like I read an unofficial autobiography about Amy. Um, she was such a nice person.
Yeah, she was very nice.
Just have you seen the film Back to Black?
I have seen half of it.
Okay,
Um, I did not finish it.
okay. We went to
Um,
watch it. I really liked it. The
yeah,
girl,
I know you did.
the girl who played her sounded so much like her.
So crazy.
Yeah,
So crazy. Yeah, her voice, it was eerie.
yeah,
She sounded not only she sounds so much like her, but to also look so much like her. Of course, she didn't. You couldn't be as skinny as Amy Winehouse
no,
was.
yeah. She,
Oh,
but
what did she have? Do you think she had anorexia? Wait, didn't the
unofficial.
movie show her throwing up
Yeah,
for food?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the worst thing is, I'm on a Amy Winehouse sort of group thing on Facebook,
Oh yeah.
and I post pictures of Amy because obviously get pictures. And when she was young, because she was a little bit bigger. She was never overweight ever.
Hmm.
She looked so much healthier and so beautiful when she was,
Mm.
and then she lost all that weight, and it's just really, really sad. I just think it's really sad. I remember being in the cinema. We went to see another film, and they were showing the preview for the Amy Winehouse film, and I got goosebumps. I've got
Mm.
goosebumps. Really, like, I've got to see this film. Got to see this film. Well, we really, really like the film. I know that you have some reservations about it, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, um, I it, it just made me uncomfortable.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. It just made me uncomfortable. I
Okay.
don't. I can't. I don't know. There's just something about it that I just couldn't. I don't know. But also, I was trying to avoid things that were as dark as that, even though that was true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was very sad. Very, very sad. She was so loved by her family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this, Rob. I really appreciate it.
That's right. It's been
You
fun.
you did a great job. Thank you.
Okay,
I
thank you.
liked I liked listening about this and learning.
Well, Even Grace wants to listen to this one.
Oh, really? Hello, Grace. How are you? I hope college is going well.
Yeah, she wants me to send it to her as soon as you put it out.
All right, that's awesome. She's interested in the 27 Club.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's fascinating. You know what's weird about it is also when you're that age, you don't really think that you're gonna die. You think can live forever.
yeah,
Uh, my daughter will be 27 next year, and it's so weird because it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like I said, and my son's best friend is super scared to be 27. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I just want to sleep through that year." So even like that generation, it knows about it very well.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how I heard about it. I don't know how.
You
I,
know, I don't, I don't know how, I don't know how I heard about it, but did you know that Mac Miller? You know who Mac Miller is, the singer?
yeah,
Well, he died when he was 26,
wow,
and of a drug overdose. But it was very suspicious as was clean, and people had seen him, and he had a bunch of friends over at the house and stuff. So there are people who think it that maybe he relapsed, but he didn't do enough to kill himself. They did find fentanyl,
right, okay,
so it seems like maybe it was just dirty
yeah,
with fentanyl. You know, you have more money than God, and you can still have a effed up drug dealer. I don't
yeah,
understand the point of lacing drugs with fentanyl because you're just killing your clientele. It makes no sense to me. But do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
That'd be like going to Walmart and having them put you to death. Well, pretty soon, no one's going to go to Walmart.
yeah, yeah. It's
Anyway,
very strange.
well, thank you. I really appreciate this. And right now right now as we're talking, for me, it just turned to September 17th. That means there's less than 2 weeks away um, until October. I,
Wow.
uh, I, as I told you, I got a Halloween shirt 2 days ago that I've been already been wearing my Halloween shirts because in our house, my son has a birthday. Um, I'm going to say around the beginning of September. Uh, I don't like to give his their personal information out. Around the beginning of September, end of August area, and in our house, the next day is Halloween.
Wow.
And I mean, all my kids do it. And as I was telling you, I went out to go get a new Halloween shirt, and they're all sold out. So it's going nuts here already for Halloween. Um, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think you love it over there in America, don't you?
We love it here. I wish you had the same. I wish you had the same experience there because it's so good. What's it called? San Juan. San Juan. And it's not Sam Hain. Called Sam Win. Sam Win.
What are we
Is
talking about now?
the Halloween in Scott in Scotland, they call it Samhain. Samhain.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, listen, I gotta let you go.
Okay.
We gotta let these people go.
Yep. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope.
I hope you all enjoyed it too, and
Yeah.
thank you, Rob.
No problem.
And if you guys are not subscribed, please do so. Click the bell so you can be notified when my content goes. Please give this a thumbs up, and then also check that link below and take a look around my new Etsy store and see what I've been up to lately.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, Rob.
All right,
Have a
love.
good day.
You too. Okay. Bye
Well,
bye.
no, I said good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.